Boys and girls, shameless plug of the video. Don't forget the giveaway on the Razor is coming to a close on the 5th of March, which is about a week or so left. This bad boy, plus the $5 grand that it comes with, is going home to one of you guys just by going to wrenchworks.com, getting entered, grabbing some merch, grabbing some quick entries. My goodness, I'm so excited. Make sure you guys go get entered. But let's get this video started. But, you know, this could be your new ride. Just by grabbing a t-shirt or a hat or even just quick entries. It's crazy, but let's get this video rolling. What is going on, my friends? Welcome back to another video. This is video number 4, I believe, on the 5th gen build. If you haven't already, go back and watch the last couple previous videos. We're doing 5th gen build right in a row. So in the last couple videos, I'll just recap. Hamilton flat tappet conversion is done. Waggler rods installed in our 19 plus CGI block. Argue with me all you want. We got rods in the CGI block. We've got a fleece cylinder head, the Performance Series. We got ARP 625s. In today's video, we're going to be continuing to get this thing dressed up and hopefully by the end of the video, back sitting in between the frame rails. We've got a lot of billet parts from the guys over at Point Blank Performance that we're going to be installing, kind of getting everything buttoned back up. And then again, hopefully by the end of the video, engine back sitting in the truck. So lots of parts to install. We'll go over it all, tips, tricks, what we're using, why we're using it, all that good stuff. But that is where we are starting on this fine Saturday. I'm sure you guys won't be watching on a Saturday, but appreciate you guys a ton. Make sure you guys hit the like button, follow along. But let's get this morning cracking. We're going to go ahead and start with probably the front cover, get our CP3 gear back in there. We have the CP3 out because we're going to be using a big S&S 14 millimeter pump, but the gear is out from all of the cam stuff. So we got to make sure we got to make sure that that goes back in before we put our Point Blank Performance billet front cover on there. So we'll grab that. We'll start getting everything prepped up, ready to go, and we'll take you guys along through every piece. CP3 gear is pretty easy. This honestly doesn't really do much, but other than just kind of sit in there. Once you get the pump sitting in there, that kind of centers everything. But as far as like reinstalling this in the front case before the front cover goes back on, we did mark everything, but really just slap that bad boy back in there, make sure she's on there, and just kind of like it'll kind of just sit there. You don't want to bump it because it might move. So we might take it out and put it right back in right before the front cover goes back on. The new Point Blank Performance cover, which is sitting back here, actually is super nice because it uses a O-ring. So O-ring, oh yeah. Tell you what, O-rings just make everything so much nicer. We'll have to clean up a little bit on the edges there, but we'll go ahead and set that O-ring in there. And our new front seal needs to go in there. But there's our billet front cover. All right, front cover is cleaned up. We're ready to do the front main seal there. Got all that leftover kind of like residual powder coat on the edges all cleaned up. The best tool that I've found is simply just a brand new razor blade. You might need a few of them. It may make some nails on a chalkboard noise, but it's the easiest way to kind of like deburr the edge of some powder coat without actually like messing this up. So you might need to kind of like run it along the side there, scrape it like, see, that's what I'm talking about. You might have a lot of that noise, but it does clean up an aluminum surface really, really well. So we are looking good there. We're gonna knock in that front main, clean up the front of the crank, and we'll be able to set our front cover on there, get our O-ring in there. Don't go crazy cleaning up this area, but we will kind of like just make sure that that is smooth. That way our front seal rides on there nice. Just a little bit. You don't need to go crazy. You just need to make sure it's nice and smooth. There he is. There's the man. You know, how nice of you to show up this morning. You're a little late. I'll let it slide this time. He's a busy man. He's out here, you know, getting these customers lined up.
I took my fast truck. I had to drive the old.
Oh, is that what happened?
I had to get the beater.
Took it a little slower this morning. I actually got myself too this morning. I'm jacked up. We're ready to go. I'm here early, which is, you know, not usually the case. and we're just ready to rip. Me and DOJ over there, we've been holding down the fort. I've been cleaning front cases, so we're ready to go.
Where's the cat?
It was eating. I think its favorite box is right behind that front tire. Let me show you something. This. Take a look at this feed tube. Did you see those when those came out? No. Look at the end of it. You can't even see through that. Like, I got like a little reducer in there. Like, you can't even see daylight through those. Those are crazy. They must have new, like, updated feed tubes.
Probably.
Complete squirrel moment. But hey, we've got our front cover on. We've got our CP3 cover on there. Got our new front crank seal. That's all good. And went ahead and started putting on the rest of some of the billet stuff. Got our ECM back on there. Got our point blank performance, basically fuel pump block off plate. Got our S&S 14 millimeter high speed pump. That's what we're going to be using for a CP3 on this Bad Larry. So that should supply all of the fuel. We are about ready to put in our fluid damper. This is pretty much kind of like a no questions asked on a lot of our high RPM horsepower stuff. We always use fluid dampers. Firmly believe in those. Also, on top of that, we almost always run their full power kit. So this is the part number for a full power kit, and you need to get some diamond washers. So we always run a diamond washer. That is going to go on. Is that a hair? Okay, now it's good to go. So we'll put that right there. Okay, so that goes on first. And what that does is, if by some odd chance you have any movement at all, which doesn't really ever happen, that kind of like saves the surface of the front of the crank snout right there. So that kind of keeps it all locked in there, and just kind of ensures everything, you know, just an extra, one more layer of she ain't going nowhere. And then this kind of, they call it like a torque, little torque plate here, that sits down in here, and the kit, oh, the sun's doing me dirty right here. That sits down there like that, and then they give you these ARP, basically bolts and washers. And the same thing, they're kind of like almost like head studs. You use some lube, and you lube everything up, and then these will get Loctited and torqued down. So we don't want this to go anywhere. And it's kind of funny. Actually, on the way here this morning, I saw a video on TikTok of a 23, and I'm not sure if, I've never heard of this before on like the older trucks, but it was a 23 Ram, and all of the factory crank bolts snapped, which I've never seen or heard of. And I don't think it's like it was a hot shot truck that had like 300,000 miles on it. But if you guys are messing with anything in the front there, I always run fluid damper. I always run the full power kit. Especially high RPM, higher power, just sees a lot of different stuff. But it's kind of funny that even a factory truck, 300,000 miles, but it was a 23, snapped all the factory crank bolts down the front, and the factory harmonic balancer basically wiped out everything. It took out the front case spot here for this sensor. And if you do that, then you pretty much got to tear the cam out. I mean, to replace, if this gets hurt right here, that is part of the whole case. So honestly, after seeing that, you know, it's like extra insurance anyway. But that is kind of where we're at. I want to stop talk about the pump, ECM going back on. We'll get some of this harness like put back up. We'll keep rocking and rolling, but we're going to put that fluid damper on. I want to go over a few things on some billet freeze plugs. Now, as you guys can see, there is a groove on this side of the engine block on each one of these. So when you go to knock them out, you want to put it so it spins the freeze plug this direction, not this direction, if that makes sense. Because of this ridge right here, you're not going to be able to knock it and twist it out this way. You kind of got to hit it on the very edge of this corner, and then that will spin out like this so you can grab it out. We did spend quite a bit of time using some 80 grit paper to fully smooth these out. And that's very important because I'll grab a freeze plug, but if this bore is not fully clean, fully sanded, you're gonna have a very hard time getting these billet freeze plugs in here. And a lot of times these get a bad rap and a bad name because as they go in, you end up cutting the O-ring or messing up the sealing surface, and that O-ring really needs a clean surface to ride on. You don't want to beat these in. If these go in very hard, and again, the O-ring is not on it right now. This was my gauge. These are from D&J. That was my gauge to make sure that these, because this wasn't even going in smoothly without an O-ring, just like that. So we've got these cleaned up. I did have to sand them more than I have on other blocks, but just kind of make sure that when you put the O-ring in here, it goes in smoothly. It lube them up really good, because if you have to like beat these in, chances are you don't have it sanded out enough. You don't grab any power tools, Dale, but just make sure that this can go in and out smoothly. Same thing on the backside one. Because the freeze plugs kind of ride halfway out of this surface, they just get like a crust ridge, and you need to take that completely out so these can kind of go in. So we're cleaned up enough for me to put the O-rings back on it and push everything in, but you don't want to mess up or roll the O-ring or cut it, because they will leak. So sometimes these are a little bit finicky. So make sure you lube everything up while it goes in, and you won't have a problem. After that, we're sticking this engine in the truck. All right, boys, there she is. Engine is back, sitting in the frame. We got her all connected back up. I don't know, Mike, what do you think about the taking the engine out and then putting it back in with the transmission in place?
It's not bad.
It's a little challenging because, you know, we moved the clutch around, the crank's moved around. It's not like you're taking it back out. With no cab in the way, it definitely, you guys could see, we kind of had to jack up the transmission quite a bit to kind of get the angle right of the angle of the dangle of getting the engine lined up in here. But we got her. We got her. So engine is back in. You know, we got our freeze plugs on the back of the block, on the side. Got our engine mounts back in. Got our secondary drain sitting right there. We'll kind of just swoop that up there. That's what's next on the list. You're gonna have to come back for the turbo install. But accessories and some stuff we got bolted back on there. That stuff's just kind of sitting there so we can not have anything, you know, drop down in our beautiful new engine. But spend a little bit of time connecting some wires back of what we can. We've got our fleece fuel filter delete sitting right in there, seeing we're gonna be running an air dog. So we'll get to the rest of the truck and all the supporting mods that are gonna go along with this build. But here's kind of like where we're sitting at. Reconnected the other ECM plug, power steering pump. Again, just some of the miscellaneous wiring. Went ahead and kind of like removed our factory feed line. Just kind of anything we can do, starter, before the cab comes back down. So that's kind of where we're at, where we're sitting. And, you know, we're just going to keep plugging away on her. But engine is back in. That's a big hurdle. She looks like a brand new engine in there. We actually had somebody come in and be like, man, you guys put a brand new engine in? It's like, we did. You know what? Here it is. Here, we got a brand new engine in a can right here. This is what I paint all the blocks with. They do make like a semi-gloss, but this is what we paint the engines with, or I do anyway. But that's what Fleece uses for the cylinder head as well. So we're going to keep slapping on some point blank performance billet goodies before the cab comes back down. But that is the update and where this video is going to end. So make sure you guys stay tuned for the next video. We're going to put the turbos on, and you guys will see all that. And we have a lot to remove from underneath of the truck to kind of make all that squeezing happen. So we're just going to keep plugging away. Guys, that is pretty much going to wrap up this video. Make sure you guys hit the like button before you leave. Subscribe if you have not already. And make sure you go get entered for the Razor giveaway ending in a very, very short amount of time. Less than a week left.